Welcome to the Sponsored Rider Club podcast, your guide to motorsports sponsorship. Here's your host, Josh Weesey.
Welcome to this episode of the Sponsored Rider Club podcast live experience powered by 4Wheel Parts. Really excited tonight. Got a pretty good piece of content to cover with you, and it is going to be pretty short as well. And also, I keep trying this every week, a little bit different setup. I got my normal podcast microphone set up right now to get a little bit better audio out of this thing. So give me some feedback. Let me know how that's going. But yeah, we're going to rock out some content today about to boost or not to boost. And, you know, there's different ways of answering that. One of them is, you know, supercharger, turbocharger, like that's obvious. You do it. You just boost. But no, we're going to talk today about your Facebook and Instagram content. Do you throw some money behind it? Do you go for that promote now? You know, Facebook calls it boost your post. Do you even bother with all that stuff? Yeah, so before, though, we get into this show, just a few things I want to tell you about. Please head over to 4wheelparts.com or find them on Instagram or Facebook or something. Show them some love. Thank them for supporting the show. And the same goes for Bold Racing. So Bold Racing has been with us forever, it seems like, and they're just always there to support this program. So check them out. Show them some love. And actually, I'm going to be with them in August again for Vegas to Reno. It's going to be my third time racing with them, helping them in the pits. This year, hoping for a solid finish, but, you know, we got a lot of prep work to do yet, and, you know, only time will tell. But I'm excited for that coming up. And actually, just a quick little note, today I got to do an autocross. Never done one before. Took my daily driver, which is just a bone stock Ford Focus, and I did pretty good. I had a lot of fun. Got a little out of control in a good way. Like it was fun. So if anybody wants to give me like a professionally tuned and, you know, fully running autocross car, just hit me up. I will take it. You know, I'll tag you on social media a little bit. But yeah, I'll take it anytime. All right. Well, hey, I already promised that this show is going to be kind of short, so let's get into the content. If you're watching this, whether it's on the live show or if you're catching this later on a replay, or a lot of people honestly listen to these shows on the normal audio version of the podcast. That's actually where I get the most quote-unquote views, downloads, listens, whatever you want to call it, for these live shows is when I produce them later on the podcast itself. So if you're listening to that, go ahead and head over to iTunes, leave a rating and review, or shoot me an email with some of your feedback on what you think. Josh at sponsoredriderclubpodcast.com. All right, so a couple of notes here around boosting your content or not boosting your content. Oh, look, we got DJ on, we got Travis, we got Chris Reeb. Welcome. I think you all, hey, Travis, you all might have some thoughts on this too, so feel free to type these little notes in the comments if you feel like, you know, there's a pro or a con to boosting your content on social media. So I'm not gonna lie, I've done it, I do it, and I have a lot of like anxiety, honestly, over if it's the right thing to do or not. I'm imagining other people do too. I think there's some, you know, some hesitancy, but we're gonna talk through some of that. So let's just get right to the obvious thing. The pro, like one of the good things about going ahead and boosting that post when Facebook prods you and pokes you to do it, and you just like, okay, fine, I'll do it. You do get more exposure for that specific post. You know, it's every time I've done it, I've always gotten more exposure. Maybe it's not a ton. Maybe it's not always the best post or boost, but it's always more. It's always more than if I wouldn't have boosted it. So that's a pro, right? That's a good thing. I mean, that's the reason why you do it, is it gets some more exposure. The con, and this is like, we're already getting right into it, right? It costs money, right? It costs some money. You know, if you have really good organic engagement, and you put up a post of you're doing your autocross race, you're getting sideways, it's really good, and like, yeah, you get tons of engagement, perfect. That's free, right? I mean, you had to put the work in, but that was free. Now you go ahead and change it up here and throw some dollars at it, and that's that many dollars less that you have. A lot of businesses have to make this decision too. Are they going to get behind you as a racer or as a rider and give you some money? Or are they going to put that money right into their Facebook post or right into their Instagram post? Those are two decisions they have to make. And sometimes they'll give you money, and then you have to make the decision now. Am I going to use that money towards, new gear, race entry fees, or to boost your posts and get your sponsors and your content just a little bit more exposure? But it costs money. I don't know what a good budget is for this stuff. Like it just seems like every dollar towards some sort of marketing like should have a return on investment, whether it's for yourself or for a business. And it's hard sometimes to measure that, right? If you're doing, especially if you're just doing pure content marketing and you're not actually selling something with those posts. So right off the bat, two pros, or one pro, one con. The most obvious ones, right? It gives you some exposure when you boost a post, but then it costs you money, and you got to watch that money leave your bank account. So, whew, I always get stressed about spending money. Oh man, I don't know. It's just I was born that way, I guess. So anyway, a little bit stressful from that standpoint too. With the new exposure though comes access to new accounts. So, hey Kevin, what's up? Kevin Spangler is on, and actually he is the next guest on the regular show too. So we're going to be recording, I believe Sunday night is our target right now, and I still owe you an outline. But we're going to get Kevin on the show and talk through some sponsorship stuff too. So look forward to that in the very near future. But yeah, one of the things that you do when you get more exposure is you get access to new accounts. On Instagram, I think a lot of people use hashtags, and that gives them good access to new accounts. But this is another way of doing it is with your post boosting. And honestly, Instagram has gotten pretty good at, if you do boost something, they have like an automatic algorithm. I don't know if that's the right term or not, where they can get pretty good engagement based off of your previous, strong posts. So they've improved something there recently where in the past, if I threw some money at a post, it wouldn't do that great. And then nowadays it actually does a little bit better. So that's a pro. The con, though, is that I don't trust it. I don't trust the system. I don't trust the algorithm. I feel sometimes like Facebook and Instagram is playing with me. And look, if you guys listen right now and you can register what this means, or if you've felt this before, like tell me, leave this in the comments here, because I feel sometimes that as soon as I've engaged in one post, or sorry, one boost of a post, that I'm like doomed for life. Like Facebook has put me into some new category, or Instagram has put me into some new category of this, like, you no longer get organic engagement category. Like that's where I feel like I get pigeonholed into. I threw one, you throw $1 at one post and you're in jail, Instagram jail. Like every post from the next month is going to be super poor performance. And then they try to make you feel better about it by saying, this post is performing better than 65% of your previous posts, which all performed pretty horribly. Like boost it for $100 million right now. And then you boost it and it works great. Like, wow. So I don't know, like the last pro I just mentioned, right? I don't know how real it is, but I know now if I don't do it, I get pretty horrible engagement. So I don't know. I don't know if you all are feeling that or not, or if you got the same hesitations there. But either way, big con for me. Once you start, essentially, like you can't stop. You can't get out. And then you're in this like path. All right, so the next thing that I was going to say is a pro, and I did promise this is going to be a short show, so I don't have too much more to cover here, but for Instagram specifically, but for Facebook as well, it's easier. is easier than going out and having like all sorts of engagement with other accounts, which is the right thing to do. That's like your organic growth and organic engagement, is by if you go out and engage with other people, they come back and engage with your content. That's great, but sometimes boosting a post is easier. So if you don't have the time, or if you feel like you don't have the time, or if you're not prioritizing that time and you want to throw some dollars at it, that's an option. That's an option to get you access to all those other things. So it is kind of easy. They make it really simple now. Once you get set up for the first time, it's almost too simple. Sometimes you're pressing a few buttons, you're like, whoops, ooh, that's not good. I didn't really want to boost that one, but um, it's pretty straightforward. Facebook has ongoing promotions now that you can do. So you can create an ad and just have it spend each day to it and monitor performance. If it's not good, you stop it. If it's good, you keep it. Um, I've done that on the podcast. I've gotten like 80,000 hits off of one ad campaign that I did. Link clicks to my website. Maybe it wasn't 80,000. That sounds like a lot. Maybe it's just 80,000 engagements with the post. Yeah, that's probably more like it. But either way, lots of good engagement. It was probably like 5 to 10,000 actual clicks to my website. But it was super simple. I set up an ad. I had 6 different variations of it, put it out there. I ran it for like 6 months or something, and I could monitor it, as I went and kill certain ads that weren't performing well. Either way, it's easy. It's pretty easy to do. Instagram, you just press like promote and then automatic audience and what website do you want to send them to. Pretty simple. But yeah, next thing, if people see it, whether they engage or not, is it viewed negatively? Like if I see content sometimes says sponsored, right? Because all of them do when you boost it, it says sponsored. Doesn't matter if you're a racer or a business or whatever, it says sponsored. And I'm always curious, like, do people look at that and be like, wow, this guy, sponsored, right? Like, I don't want to read this content, this commercial. I don't know. I don't know. I've definitely felt that way though myself. So I'm assuming people feel that way about me if they see some of my stuff. But hey, if they're engaging and it's reaching the target market, they actually want to see it anyways. Maybe it's all good. So one quick comment here, Kevin Spangler, thanks for putting a note on here. Yeah, it sounds like you've had this issue before. You haven't boosted posts in like 10 months to a year or more. I went for a period of time. I went for like a month, 2 months without doing anything, and I felt like my organic growth was growing a little bit. Like, woohoo, restored it, got out of that algorithm, and then it just like took a dump again. So I got back into the phase. It was like Facebook was messing with me. And yeah, Kevin just said another comment here, an alternate, right, to going and engaging with other people's content or with boosting the content is to share it to groups. That's free to do. It just takes your time. Go into those groups, share your content, you get a lot more engagement that way. I know some people that do that really well with some of their live videos like this, and they get tremendous engagement. I don't. Man, I probably should. That's probably why my views aren't that great on Facebook, but good point, Kevin. Thanks for saying that. If you got other tips like that, drop them in the comments. Where was I? So I'm going back to my little note sheet. Yeah, people know that I take notes. Another pro here, real quick, and I think this might be my last pro, is for Instagram specifically, when you boost a post, it gives you the opportunity to put a direct link in there. That's one of the things that kind of frustrates me about Instagram is when I do want to put like a link to, my website, or I'm sure people on here want to put links to their websites too. You got to direct them back to the link in your bio. So I'm always saying that in posts like link in bio. Like, okay. And I'm always changing a link in my bio. It'd be kind of cool if I could do that direct link. Well, when I boost a post, I can do that, right? It gives me that direct link, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice. So honestly, that's the things that I want to talk about tonight. I promised it'd be a shorter show today. As people are listening to this, again, give me that feedback. I love to hear it. Head over to iTunes, leave a rating and review. That is also a really good way to boost the exposure of this show. Hey, boost, I use that word for a different reason here, but increase the exposure of the show. We've hit what's hot on iTunes for automotive podcast twice now, and almost every time that happens is when we've had an influx of ratings and reviews. So it really does make a big difference. And that type of thing is what allows, sponsors of the show to stay on board because they feel like they're getting value too with increased organic growth. That was enough of a pitch for me. Last thing I'll say before I kind of close this show out is it is up to you. I would love for you to be able to experiment with boosting your content, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, or some other platform. Just be cautious that if my gut feeling is true and what some other people have told me is true, that once you boost it, you kind of get blacklisted from strong organic content. Just be cautious because you might then get into that realm. I don't know. I can't confirm nor deny if that's true or not. I have a feeling that there's this a risk with that, but it's a risk that I was willing to take. And if you're comfortable, I encourage you to take it too. But that's it, everybody. I'm going to close things out and leave you with this. Have fun and ride safe.